It's not by chance that you're viewing this video. There's a reason you're here. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust the timing of your life and know that you're being led to where you're meant to be. As you stumble on this video, perhaps not by chance, it will serve to awaken your spirit. You've sensed it deep within, something is shifting, and you're absolutely right. Heaven is moving. The waiting season is coming to an end. God brought you here to confirm what your spirit has been whispering all along. This isn't just another uplifting message, it's a divine confirmation tailored just for you. You've shed silent tears, faced hidden struggles, and walked through seasons of lack that most never noticed. But now, the Most High is stepping in, not just to restore what you've lost, but to exceed what you once dreamed. Get ready. What's coming is greater than what's been. Let's walk through this divine unfolding together. As we begin this 7-chapter spiritual journey, there's one undeniable truth. Every place where you once felt empty is about to be filled. Before we go any deeper, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Not out of routine, but because what you're about to receive isn't ordinary. This isn't just a message, it's a prophetic confirmation. This isn't just content, it's a divine delivery straight from heaven for the chosen ones who've endured hidden struggles and silent seasons of lack. If your spirit is sensing this shift, if your soul is resonating right now, drop 77 in the comments. That number isn't random. It's a divine signal, a sacred code between you and the Most High declaring, I'm aligned, I'm awake, I'm ready to receive what's already mine. Let's be clear, not everyone is meant to finish this message. Only those with spiritual ears will truly hear it. Only those with kingdom vision will recognize what's being revealed. But if you stay until the end, this won't just inspire you, it will activate you. You'll gain clarity on why you endured the lack, how heaven is restoring what was lost, and what overflow is about to pour into your life. This isn't just a message you hear once and move on from. It's a living truth, infused with revelation. Every time you hear it, something new will rise. A fresh key, a deeper insight, a quiet confirmation your soul has been longing for. So quiet your mind, open your heart, because God is about to pour into every place that once felt empty. This is just the beginning. This is your first taste of the overflow. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Purpose in the Pause. What felt like lack was never rejection. It was intentional, divine design. Chosen one, this message is reaching you exactly when it's meant to. Because even though you've smiled through the struggle, you've quietly carried questions. You've asked why heaven seems silent, why your prayers went unanswered, why things that came easily to others felt like a constant uphill climb for you. But here's the deeper truth. What appeared to be absence was never abandonment. It was a divine classroom, a sacred space of preparation, a holy pause where God was building within you the kind of foundation that few are called to carry. You see, when God sets apart someone for something greater, He never rushes the process. While others were being promoted, you were being planted. While some were busy building platforms, God was establishing your roots. You weren't missing out, you were being marked. What you called lack was actually training, teaching you to depend on what cannot be shaken. When there was no applause, you discovered peace in God's presence. When doors didn't open, you found a deeper identity, one not built on performance, but anchored in purpose. When others failed to recognize your worth, you were drawn into a deeper, more intimate relationship with the one who never once overlooked you. God was never being unkind. He was being deeply intentional. He wasn't emptying your hands to leave you without. He was making room, preparing you to hold the magnitude of what He intended to place in them. The delays you faced were never meant as punishment. Rather, they were divine protection, keeping you from stepping prematurely into spaces your character had not yet been refined to sustain. What you needed was not immediate abundance, but lasting alignment with eternal purpose. Because chosen one, wealth without wisdom leads to ruin, and elevation without a secure sense of identity will inevitably collapse. Because you stayed when it made no sense to stay, because you lifted your hands in worship when all you held were tears, because you chose kindness even when life grew cold. You have been found ready in the eyes of heaven. Your obedience in seasons of lack positioned you for abundance without arrogance. The quiet, lonely nights became the foundation of your inner sanctuary. The hunger you endured birthed a hunger for the eternal. And while others chased visibility, you were being divinely sculpted, formed into someone not only capable of withstanding success, but entrusted to steward it with integrity. Now the atmosphere is shifting. Heaven is in motion. The same God who walked with you through your silent seasons is preparing to publicly honor what he privately developed. You're not merely stepping into more, you're stepping into purpose-filled abundance, into wealth that carries divine assignment, provision wrapped in responsibility, and favor forged in the fires of refinement. God saw the version of you that worshiped with an empty bank account, that gave selflessly when your own hands were empty, that spoke life into others while quietly battling your own storms. That version of you was never hidden from heaven. It moved the heart of God. It echoed in the unseen. And now the windows of heaven are opening over your life, not as a reward for perfection, but as a response to your unwavering faith in the midst of lack. No, the lack was never a curse. It was a divine code. It trained your tongue to speak with unwavering faith. It taught your hands to build quietly without applause. It shaped your heart to trust deeply, even when nothing made sense. You are not stepping into abundance by accident. You are stepping into fulfillment. Every dry season carried divine intention. Every silent year was filled with purpose. The same God who led you through the wilderness is the one who has prepared your promised land. Chosen one, this is a season where what once nearly broke you becomes the very reason you walk in blessing. You are not being blessed merely for your own sake, but so that your life can become living evidence, proof of what unfolds when someone chooses to trust God through every season. You are about to embody the truth that lack was never denial. It was always divine design. So stand tall, not with pride, but with holy expectancy, because you have been faithful in the famine, and now you are being positioned for the fulfillment. Chapter 2. Faithful in the famine. You remained faithful in the famine. Now you will be entrusted with abundance. Chosen one, this stretch of your journey was never about what you possessed. It was about how you carried yourself when you had nothing. It was never about the spotlight, but about the secret place, the sacred moments no one witnessed, the sacrifices no one applauded, the tears you wiped away in silence, the prayers you whispered when even your voice felt too weary to rise. The world celebrates the visible victory, but heaven rewards the hidden obedience. Now the season is shifting, not because you performed for it, but because you endured through it with quiet faith and unwavering devotion. You remained faithful in your famine. When others gave up, you pressed in. When it would have been easier to grow bitter and walk away, you chose to hold on tighter. You gave even when it cost you. You served others while your own soul longed for support. You loved without condition, even when love wasn't returned. You refused to let the famine harden your heart. And that, chosen one, is why God can now trust you with overflow heavenly abundant. This next season isn't a reward for performance. It's a release that's been entrusted to your posture. God saw your heart. He witnessed you turn down opportunities that didn't align with your values. He saw how you refused to manipulate your way forward, choosing integrity over influence. And now, because you stayed rooted, you're ready to rise. He watched as you prayed for those who misunderstood you, as you spoke blessings over those who cursed you, as you pressed on when your strength was gone. That kind of faithfulness never goes unnoticed in heaven. God isn't blessing you just because the time has come. He's blessing you because you're prepared. Prepared not only to receive, but to carry, guard, and multiply. What He entrusts to you. He knows the one who tithed in lack will steward abundance with integrity. He knows the one who worshiped through tears will rejoice even louder in victory. He knows the one who chose kindness over bitterness will use prosperity to build, not to boast. You didn't just survive the famine, you were refined in it. You learn to lean on God, not people, to follow purpose, not pressure, to choose character over convenience. And now, heaven is opening its windows, not to compensate you, but to commission, to equip you with divine resources, both spiritual and material, not just for your comfort, but for your calling. Because this next season isn't only about what you'll receive, it's about what you'll release. Your hands will bring healing. Your voice will speak life. Your resources will bring restoration to those still walking through the very famine you once knew all too well. Or, the abundance that's on its way is far greater than just financial gain. It's going to overflow into your relationships, your influence, your opportunities, your platform, and your perspective. This is a kind of abundance the world can't manufacture and the enemy can't take away. Because God isn't just blessing you with more, He's giving you proof. Proof that obedience still brings reward, that humility still holds power, that faith in the dry seasons is never wasted. So prepare your heart. You're entering a season where the seeds planted in pain are about to bloom with supernatural strength. Your quiet obedience is about to be recognized, not for applause, but for purpose. You stayed faithful through the dry seasons, and now heaven is about to release a divine overflow, not just to bless you, but to restore, rebuild, and reveal the one who called you. This isn't just favor, it's a sacred trust from the throne. Chapter 3, From Lack to Legacy. The very areas where you once struggled will become the loudest echoes of your testimony, chosen one. It was never by accident that your deepest battles came from places of lack, those moments that brought you to your knees, the silent wars you fought alone, the nights you wept for what others received so effortlessly. You didn't see it then, but God was allowing you to feel the depth of emptiness so He could fill it with divine glory. What felt like punishment was actually preparation. Those barren places were sacred ground, where heaven quietly planted the seeds of your future strength. You lacked support. Now God is raising you to be the support for others who are silently breaking, just as you once did. What broke you will now build others. What hurt you will now heal many. This is not just redemption, it's a divine reversal. You once felt the absence of love, but now you're being surrounded by covenant connections, not just people who enjoy your company, but those who honor your spirit. Where resources were once scarce, you're stepping into a season of divine abundance so overwhelming, your story will sound unreal. What you used to pray for, you'll now create. Not only for yourself, but as a legacy for generations to come. Where there was once confusion, now there's clarity. The wisdom pouring from you will awaken vision in others. Your voice, once quieted by doubt, will now bring guidance, truth, and freedom. God doesn't simply restore what was lost. He multiplies it. He doesn't return things as they were. He returns them with purpose and power. That heartbreak didn't break you. It softened your spirit and sharpened your discernment. That season of loneliness, it drew you closer to God than ever before. The rejection you faced wasn't the end. It was the redirection that brought you into divine alignment. And the lack you experienced, it cultivated a depth of stewardship, gratitude, and humility that no amount of wealth could ever teach. Now look at you, not just healed but empowered, not just restored but transformed. You're not simply surviving anymore. You are living proof of redemption in motion. You are now walking through the very places that once tried to break you. And you're walking in victory. You're not just walking out of the shadows, you're leading others into the light. You're lifting, guiding, and pouring blessings into those still stuck in the places you once were. Your scars, they've become sacred testimonies. What once were wounds now speak with wisdom. Where you once lacked, now you overflow. God is shaping you into the very thing you once pleaded for. You yearned for understanding, now your words carry deep compassion. You searched for answers, now you're a voice of clarity for the confused and lost. You are becoming living proof that God turns the broken into bridges, the rejected into leaders, the voiceless into vessels of purpose. Here's the divine irony. What once brought you shame now qualifies you. The very thing that made you question your worth is now the canvas for God's glory. What once felt like a curse has become your calling. You are becoming a living testimony, one that doesn't need a microphone to preach. Your life is the message. Your walk speaks louder than words. Your joy is a weapon. Your overflow is undeniable proof. So walk boldly, chosen one. Not with pride, but with divine awareness. You carry treasure in the very places that once held your pain. And every space that once echoed with your cries, God is turning them into stages for His supernatural abundance. You won't have to explain a thing. Your life will declare it. Chapter 4, this overflow will feel deeply personal, yet its impact will be undeniably global. Chosen one, the season ahead will be unlike anything you've ever known, not because of all you'll gain, but because of all you'll pour out. Not merely for what you'll receive, but for what God will release through you. This overflow will reach into the quiet places where your tears once fell unseen. It will touch the wounds no one knew you carried. It will answer prayers whispered only in heaven's direction. And it will redeem the moments you thought were lost forever. This is not just increase, it's transformation. Not just blessing, it's purpose fulfilled. But this overflow was never meant to stop with you. God is blessing you in such a profound way because He knows He can trust you with it. He knows you won't cling to the harvest or allow abundance to breed arrogance. He sees your heart, not just set on success, but anchored in service. You've been faithful with little, obedient when no one was watching. You gave without recognition. You built without resources. You loved without limits. And now God is about to release more, not simply because you've earned it, but because He knows you'll steward it well. This blessing isn't just a reward, it's a responsibility, and you're ready for it. This overflow will reach every area of your life: healing, finances, relationships, and opportunities. But it won't stop there. It will extend far beyond you. Nations will feel the impact of your obedience. Communities will be restored because you chose to say yes. The hungry will be fed. The hopeless will find light. The overlooked will finally be seen. All because you chose to carry your abundance with purpose. This wealth is arriving with an assignment. It's not just a blessing, it's a blueprint. It will build shelters, fund education, heal broken families, ignite businesses, launch ministries, rescue the forgotten, and restore what was once lost. This isn't just about prosperity, it's about purpose in motion. This will happen not just because you're blessed, but because you're willing and ready. You were chosen for this purpose. You were shaped in private so you could lead in public. You went through quiet pain so you could bring healing with strength. This overflow in your life is sacred. Treat it with honor. The world defines wealth by what you hold on to, but heaven defines it by what you give away. You won't show it off, you'll sow it. You won't brag, you'll build. You won't waste it, you'll use it to bring life where there's dryness. God is getting ready to position you as a channel for kingdom wealth, a carrier of resources, wisdom, healing, and breakthrough. What's coming your way is greater than money. It will be vision, authority, access, alignment, and most of all, impact. So when it arrives, don't shrink back. Don't apologize for it. Don't delay stepping into it. This overflow was meant for you before you were even born. It's not just about what you gain, it's about who you'll help, what you'll change, and what you'll restore. In the end, this overflow won't just transform your life, it will touch the world through you. It will change the world through your life. Let others see God's glory in how you manage what you've been given. Let them experience His love through your generosity. Show them what it means when someone chosen rises, not to take, but to make a difference. This overflow is the answer to prayers people haven't even prayed yet. And you, yes you, were chosen to carry it. Get ready. Chapter 5. The attack on your lack. Your season of lack wasn't accidental, it was strategic. Chosen one, let's be clear, what you endured wasn't just hardship, it was warfare. That struggle wasn't just life happening, it was a calculated attack on your purpose. The enemy recognized the greatness written over your life and believed that if he could trap you in survival mode long enough, you'd never awaken to the power you carry or the destiny you're meant to fulfill. He targeted your resources, hoping to wear down your resolve. He disrupted your relationships, aiming to drain your hope. He came after your finances, your peace, your confidence, because he knew that if you ever made it through the season of lack, you'd emerge unstoppable. It was never just about the money. It was never only about the job, the opportunity, or the open door. The real battle was over your identity. The enemy wasn't after your bank account, he was after your belief. If he could shake your faith in who you are, he could stall what you were born to become. If he could keep you doubting God's timing, doubting your worth, doubting the vision planted inside you, then he could delay your impact. But chosen one, you didn't fold. You didn't curse God and walk away. You didn't give in to the lies that whispered you were forgotten. You refused to let a season of not enough pull you away from the eternal promise of more than enough. And now, you're stepping into the reversal. The enemy is about to regret every seed of discouragement he tried to sow in your heart. He's about to choke on every lie he ever spoke over your life. Because what's coming to you now isn't just restoration, it's elevation. This isn't merely a comeback. It's divine compensation for everything that was stolen, delayed, or sabotaged. You're about to witness a supernatural turnaround. From dry places to living rivers. From praying for scraps to stewarding overflow. From borrower to lender. From overlooked to unmistakably chosen. And here's the best part. The enemy can't stop it. Because this blessing isn't man-made, it's God-ordained. It was written in heaven long before the attack ever began. What once felt like defeat is now becoming your fuel. You're not rising with bitterness, you're rising with boldness. You're not burdened by fear, you're burning with fire. And you're not stepping into blessing with hesitation, you're walking in with authority. Because you survived the very season that was meant to break you. This isn't just about overflow, it's about vindication. God is about to bless you in a way that speaks louder than the pain. He's going to elevate you in a way that answers every question you once asked through tears. And he will surround you with favor that confirms every promise he whispered to your heart when no one else could hear. So don't apologize for this rise. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't downplay what God is doing in your life just because some still remember the version of you that struggled. You're not there anymore. You passed the test. You stayed the course. And now, heaven is preparing to reward you publicly for what you endured privately. This is the season where the enemy watches everything he tried to delay unfold. Regardless, you're not just rising out of lack. You're stepping into legacy. Not just receiving provision, but walking in power. Chapter 6. More than you prayed for. Chosen one, prepare your heart, because what's coming is far greater than what you asked for. Let this truth settle deep within your spirit. God has never overlooked a single prayer you've whispered. Not even the ones soaked in tears, spoken in a trembling voice. While you were praying for relief, God was orchestrating your release. When you asked for just enough to survive, heaven was aligning resources for you to thrive. You prayed for one door to open, but God is building an entire house. You asked for daily bread, but God is preparing a feast, a table set before those who once doubted you. You haven't been forgotten, you've been positioned, and now you're about to receive more than you ever imagined. You asked God to help you survive, but now He's about to show you what it truly means to thrive. You were thinking small because the weight you carried clouded your vision. Your prayers were shaped by past limitations and present pain. But God was never confined by your circumstances. He heard not just your words, but the cry beneath them. And while you were asking for help, He was already designing an answer that would not only meet your need, but far exceed anything you imagined. That's why it felt delayed. Not because God said no, but because He was saying, "Not like that. I have something better in mind." He had to remove certain people from your path, those who would have mishandled the miracle meant for you. He closed doors you once wept over, not out of cruelty, but because they were beneath the purpose placed on your life. He allowed seasons to break you, not to destroy, but to prepare you for the space only growth could fill. And now, you're nearing that divine moment. The moment when heaven whispers, "Now." The moment when what once felt like denial returns as a flood of unstoppable favor. You won't have to strive for what's coming. You won't need to chase it, beg for it, or shape yourself to be seen. What's on its way will find you because it's been divinely assigned to your name since the beginning. This next blessing will silence every fear that once echoed in your heart. It will confirm every word God ever spoke over your life. It will meet you with overwhelming joy, unshakable peace, abundant provision, and crystal clear direction. You're about to step into a season where God doesn't just answer the request. You'll see him heal the root beneath it. He's not just giving you a platform, he's giving you a voice. Not just a partner, but a covenant. Not just finances, but divine purpose. This is what the waiting was for. This is why you couldn't settle. Why the doors you thought were right had to close. Because God wasn't offering you partial peace. He was preparing you for the full promise. So ready your heart, not just for answered prayers, but for prayers surpass. Get ready to receive blessings that go beyond your resume, beyond your network, beyond anything you imagined. The kind of blessings that bring you to your knees in awe, whispering, only God could have done this, because he did, and he will. This next season will be marked by divine abundance, not because you were lucky, but because you remained faithful, not because you were flawless, but because you were in position. Chapter 7. You're not just being blessed, you're being made whole. Chosen one, this isn't simply a moment of blessing. It's a moment of transformation. God isn't just giving you something new, he's restoring everything that was broken. You're not merely entering a new season. You're stepping into a renewed self, healed, whole, and steady. He's not only answering your prayers, he's mending the silent wounds you've carried inside. This season brings more than external blessings. It offers deep internal renewal. You'll find peace in your mind, confidence in who you truly are, and strength rooted in your spirit. Because what's the point of overflow if your heart is still leaking? What good is favor if your soul remains fractured? God is saying, I don't just want to bless you, I want to make you whole. He's healing the wounds of rejection, grief, and fear. Soon you'll see the drought wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The delay wasn't denial, it was divine alignment. You won't chase validation anymore. You'll rest in the truth of who God created you to be. This next chapter isn't about striving or proving, it's about becoming. And your healing won't be hidden. It will show. People will see the peace, the glow, the strength, and they'll know without a doubt, only God could have done it. Your answer will be simple, God made me whole. You'll stop shrinking, stop settling, stop questioning whether you belong, because wholeness brings clarity, quiet confidence, and undeniable strength. This is why the attacks were so intense. The enemy wasn't just after your blessing, he was after your becoming. He wanted you trapped in outdated versions of yourself, but he lost. Now you're walking in truth, you're thriving, healed, and grounded in God. You're shining and safe. The love that's coming won't break you. The doors that open won't overwhelm you. The favor that finds you won't change who you are. It will reveal who you've always been. And the best part, in all this success, you won't lose yourself. You'll finally see yourself because your foundation is built on faith, not fame, on purpose, not performance. So release every weight you've been carrying. Forgive those you need to forgive, especially yourself. Let go of what didn't work. Mourn it if you must, but don't bring it into your future. What's ahead is sacred, and so are you. You're not just being elevated, you're being established. Not merely celebrated, but completed. Not only seen, but sealed. This is not just the end of lack. It's the beginning of a new kind of life. A life that is true, healed, and whole. You survived the drought. Now you are stepping into a season of thriving, into the fullness of your destiny. Everything that was once missing is now returning in divine form and multiplied measure. And if you find yourself still longing for more, whether it's additional chapters in this journey, a visual concept for a video, or a compelling thumbnail design, simply let me know. I'm here, fully ready to help bring your vision to life in every possible way. Thanks for watching. Here ends this video. Take a moment to like, share, and subscribe if you find this video interesting.